All right, here we go. This came in from Mr. Anonymous. It says, I've had several people ask me questions. Is it proper to call Bible question figures Bible characters? Since a character is one that is portrayed in a play, movie, TV show, etc. Also, is it accurate to call a Bible account a Bible story? Just some questions been kind of asked recently and would like to have some help answering these. And I think it's a good question. I want to deal with it two different ways. Let's deal with the characters first and then the stories second. And maybe there overlap a little bit in answers.
Okay.
The simple answer I want to say is, is it proper? Sure. Are we careful in the way that we call things and say things? Certainly we are. And we've talked about that, call Bible things by Bible names, and it helps clarify. But if we start trying to look up, Jeff, do me a favor, would you look up the definition of character and just to help me out? Because sometimes, some people in their minds, they associate character and they think of fictional.
Disney or something like that.
Yeah, but the word character has more meanings than just that. I haven't even looked it up, but I know because we talked about the character of an individual.
Yeah.
Right.
So the word has more meaning than just that.
Right. First definition, the mental and moral qualities distinctive to an individual.
All right. And the next one?
A person in a play, novel, play, or movie.
All right. Is there another one?
That's a secondary one. And also inscribe or engrave, like in a letter character.
Oh, okay.
Right down, yeah.
I didn't even think about that one.
Yeah.
That was
And
good.
those are the three that are coming up.
All right. Let's go back to that first one because that's the definition.
Okay.
What did it say again?
The mental and moral qualities distinctive to an individual.
I think the key in that is that word distinctive to an individual. So when we say a Bible character, most of the time when we reference the Bible character, aren't we talking about his moral distinctions? Like if I say Abraham is a Bible character, what comes into your mind?
Well, you think about what Abraham did and who he is and what he stands for in the Bible context.
Hebrews 11, the faith that he had.
Yep. You can go
so,
there.
If we want to be careful, if you think in your mind that it makes people think about Disney, then fine, don't do it. Bible people, Bible persons, Bible man, the man, you can call it all that, but I wouldn't go as far as saying it's wrong or you shouldn't.
Yeah, and also depends on the audience that you're talking to. It always depends. For example, here's another one that falls right in line with this. A lot of times you'll hear people in the church even say the Gospels. When you're talking about Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, they'll say the Gospels, plural. And I know what they mean there. They mean the gospel accounts of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, because really there's only one gospel. There's not multiple gospels. In fact, the Bible condemns multiple gospels. But we understand what is said when people will say, if you go back and look in the Gospels, you understand what's meant there. I think that comes into play sometimes with these words, with the distinction of using words, there's a connotation that goes with it or a context that people need to understand.
And certainly if something violates an individual's conscience, don't do it.
Yeah, totally.
But I wouldn't go as far as condemning somebody else, say, well, character, Jack Davis points out it could be fictional or non-fictional. And it can, now story, and that's why I said let's do two.
Okay.
The character, I think some people could have a little bit more difficulty with, but I looked up dictionary and the dictionary story real quick, and the second meaning is an account of past events in someone's life or in the evolution of something. That's what the Bible story is, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's the account of redemption history is what it is. And so I understand, again, where this is coming from whenever you use the word story, is that it could be inferred that this is a fable or that this is just some tale that's being told.
Right.
So I totally get that and understand where that's coming from. Again, I think it comes back to context, comes back to the audience that you're talking to and how you intonate that word even, Like if you were to say now the story is, see, that's intonation right there. But if you say, I'm going to go back and we're going to look at the historical story of Abraham. Yeah, I mean, that's
the story of the life. I don't know.
And probably though that word has taken a hit because of the colloquialisms that's used to refer to it. Like I've heard women say, well, I got to go home so I can watch my stories. They're talking about the soap opera. Stuff like that. So the word is used in different ways. And, of course, those
that's
are
a great point.
scriptive.
Yeah.
They're scripted stories.
Or if I say something like, come and listen to a story about a man named Jed. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about.
We sure do.
That poor mountaineer.
Yeah.
Barely kept his family fed.
Exactly.
Lester Fat and Earl Scruggs. Flat and Earl Scruggs, yeah.
So is it wrong? No. Am I going to tell people not to do it? I won't. If somebody's struggling to make that distinction, and let's go ahead and add this, could it possibly even in certain language barriers present some challenges?
Oh, yes, absolutely. You got to be careful whenever you're translating into other languages, what words you're using sometimes. So, it's a legitimate question. It's a real thing. Totally get it.
Right.
It really depends.
And let me caution this: if your conscience says don't do it,
amen.
Don't
do it.
But also, let me throw this out there: don't start looking down on people that do.
Right.
Don't be like, oh, Troy, you shouldn't say that.
I wonder how Paul felt when he walked into places like Corinth and they weren't using words the way they should and things like that.
Or even Paul whatever he gave up personal liberties, but other people didn't. But
that's my
I don't
point.
think he walked in and he said, I'm giving this up and you shouldn't either, because that violates what he was writing.
That's what I'm saying is like Paul, if anybody, there's somebody who exercised a lot of long suffering and understanding and patience with the brethren, and that's what we're taught. Hey, listen, you mentioned the word character earlier. Romans chapter 5 says, not only that, we are also glory in tribulations, knowing that tribulation produces perseverance, and perseverance, character, and character, hope. And so I just happened to look that up as a connection there.
There you go.
Thank you. And give me a little gold star now.
I like that. Yeah, we're going to chalk you one up.